few days ago, I shared my build for the AS Val, and now it's time to do the VSS, which is the harder hitting, slower firing, pretty much variant of the AS Val. They're built on like the same platform. So I've been playing with the VSS extensively over the past couple of days, maxed it out, and came up with this build that I think is very well suited for the type of weapon that the VSS is. So the VSS Marksman rifle is, of course, slower firing than the AS Val. You see the fire rate is 480 RPM, but it does do considerably more damage at 33 damage per shot, which is absolutely fantastic compared to the AS Val that only does 20. So to start off the build, we're going to go with the barrel. There's only one option here, VSS Tsunami long barrel combo, which is the exact same barrel that the AS Val has access to. And now we get a few extra attachment slots. So this weapon doesn't have a whole lot of attachments to go for it, but we're going to make do with what we have. For the foregrip, I went with the Secret Order bevel foregrip. I know this is a recurring one, but I really want to increase that horizontal firing camera stability, which is why I chose to go with this one. And I decided for this specific weapon to not calibrate the foregrip. I did, however, calibrate the barrel to the tune of plus 50 grams and plus 10 millimeters. I want to increase that muzzle velocity because it is quite slow. As far as I know, with my limited knowledge on weapons, this weapon uses subsonic ammo, which is super slow moving, so that increase in muzzle velocity will help, and of course a little bit of extra firing stability. So moving on to the magazine, you have two choices here, the 45 rounder or the 30 round magazine. And for this build, I chose to go for the 30 rounder. There are a few penalties for the 45 round mag, and you're doing so much damage per shot that I feel it didn't make that much of a difference. It is to note that if you choose the 45 round mag, you get 15 more rounds overall for the weapon. So if you choose a 30 round mag, you're getting 30 in the mag plus 90 extra. If you choose to go with the 45 round mag, you're getting 45 in the mag plus 90 extra. So that gives you an extra 15 rounds overall. But yeah, I chose to go with the 30 rounder here because you're getting a little bit less penalties, and considering the damage that this weapon does, I felt like the 45 rounder was a little bit overkill for the penalties that it gives. For the stock, only one option, the VSS Elite Integral stock, so you're getting a whopping plus 14 control, losing a little bit of accuracy here, but honestly, this isn't the type of weapon that I would really be hip firing anyways, and you're losing a little bit of handling, but that's all right. As for the calibration, I only went with the cheek pad placement at plus 2, so that's giving you plus 16% aiming stability while breathing, which is going to make sense in a little bit, and you're losing a little bit of ADS movement speed, but it's so minimal that it doesn't really make that much of a difference. As for the sights, so for the main sight, because I am using two on here, I chose to go with the XCOG Assault 3.5x scope, so you're losing a little bit of handling here, but considering how much damage this weapon does and how slow it fires, and the fact that it can do really decent damage at range, I wanted to have that magnified optic on there if I want to use the weapon in single fire. So I chose to install that. I also calibrated it to the tune of plus 0.50x, giving me, as far as I know, a 4x scope. And then for the offset, I chose to go with my favorite one, the offset mini red dot sight. No calibration for this one. For the 4 attachment slots that are left, so upper rail, right rail, and left rail, and the rail bipod, I chose to leave them all bare. You can't actually put any handguards on here, and equipping a laser sight, you're getting a penalty on the handling, which I don't particularly want. And you're also getting the allows tactical holding stance. So instead of having to swap between 2 sights, you then have to swap between the 4X XCOG, the mini RDS, and the tactical stance, which just makes it a little bit extra confusing when you're trying to swap between sights. So that's why I chose to not have the laser on here. I would have put it on if it wasn't for that tactical holding stance that it does, which I'm personally not a fan of. I would have taken the penalty to handling, but that tactical stance is just a no-go for me. So that pretty much covers my VSS Marksman rifle build. This weapon is only available to the Recon class of operators, so Luna and Hackclaw, you can tear people up with this weapon. Again, 33 damage per shot is nothing to scoff at. You have to be careful. You can't play too aggressive with this weapon because it does fire incredibly slow, and you'll be out DPS'd by most other weapons that have a higher fire rate, even though they have lower damage per shot. You're still probably going to be out DPS'd. Other than that, this weapon is super fun to use because you can use it in that close quarter engagements if you need, or like medium range, and then at longer ranges with that 4X, you could swap out the ACOG or XCOG for something a little bit more magnified if you're trying to fire at further distances. But again, the muzzle velocity of this weapon is so bad that firing at those really long distances is going to be a little bit painful, especially if the targets are moving around. Then the bullets are just so slow to get there. But there is an upside to this. if there's a stationary target, chances are you probably can fire off 3 to 4 bullets before the first one even gets to the target, and then by the time they start moving, the rest of the bullets are making their way to that target, and then they're probably just going to end up being dead if they were stationary. So that is kind of a plus side to the really slow muzzle velocity of this weapon, but it is a ton of fun to use. To be able to use this VSS build, you have to have the weapon leveled up to level 32 for the stock, or level 31 for the secret order bevel foregrip. I would highly recommend it as a weapon for the Recon class. Ton of fun to use. People don't expect you to be using this in CQB or medium range engagements and then getting completely melted by it due to how much damage it outputs per round. But that'll be it for today's video. Let me know if you have tried out the VSS in the comment section down below. The share code will be in the description as well as in the top pinned comment. Leave me your preferred build for the VSS as well. In any case, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.